Hello, Aries. Welcome to your April 2020 reading. So good to see everybody. And I wanted to start off with a little bit of love here from Apollo. And we're going to put him down here, but he just wanted to say hi. He's been holding space and meditating with me as we got ready for this really important reading today. One of the themes that I'm going to be talking about with all signs for the month of April is the opportunity to really tap into renewal, rebirth, reincarnation, sort of like a reinvention of where you were before. So imagine that this is a door that you're going to open up and there's new opportunities. Symbolically, this is always a month that is kind of associated with that because of Easter, but it doesn't matter. That's really more kind of connected with one religion. I see it as springtime and a chance for that sort of renewal that comes through. So this is going to be an exciting month. I always love reading for your sign because you help set the tone for the rest of the readings. So this is going to be a wonderful session today. I'd like to start by introducing myself. I know that with the live readings, there's always some new folks that join that may not have seen me before. So my name is Nicholas Ashbaugh. This is your first time here. And the way that I structure this might be a little bit different from some other readers. What I like to do each and every month is to separate it into a few pieces. Before I get into that, just a reminder, because I get this question, I read tropical or Western astrology, tarot, and the astrology is associated with that. And you can use it for your sun, rising, and moon signs if you happen to know all three. If you don't, just stick with your birth sign and you'll have more than enough information by doing that. Now let's get into the format. The way that this is separated is as follows. I always like to begin with some psychic downloads, and this is what I call the channeled information. And this is part of the reading. Sometimes people want to forward past it. I think it's sometimes the most important part of the reading, so please stick around for that. After we get into that, then I'm going to look at the Celtic Cross. And this is where we'll use traditional tarot cards to lay out all of the highs, lows, and in-betweens. And that really gives you the blueprint for the month. And you get to make choices based on that blueprint. I'm a big proponent of free will, and that's why we show up. And that's also why I've started doing readings in advance, to give you that chance to look at everything and make some decisions, okay? After that, I like to separate it into health, wealth, love, and destiny. That way, we can make sure to cover those areas, but then whatever needs to come through the first part will, and it gives it a lot more flexibility. With the live readings, I do something unique at the end. I always like to focus on some soul work, things that you really need to be working on to get past blocks in your life, not just in the month of April. Really just to be the best you and set you up for success for the entire year. And I pull 3 cards, past, present, and future influences that will affect where your soul is at on its current path. And then we do a meditation to unlock, to heal. And this month to really tap into that energy of renewal. And that's a theme that I'll be looking at in your channeled message here in just a second. Before we get into that, quick reminder, since this is live, there's something here called Super Chat. Let's see if I can get this ready for you. It's this little icon right here, right next to the emoji. And what Super Chat is a way to sort of say thank you and give back. If you'd like to do that, great. One thing that I do, though, as a reader is I don't really do question and answer during this because I need to stay in the channel to provide all the information that you need. So that's just really a way to say hello, to give back. And I want to say thanks for anybody that would like to do that. It really does make a difference. At the very end, I'll give you some information on other ways that you can connect, whether it's across social media or becoming a patron or joining the channel. I'd like to also thank Maria and Ryan for holding this space and keeping it safe. They're both great with answering questions while I'm doing this. So again, Ryan and Maria, thank you so much for showing up today and helping me out. All right, let's get into the important piece now, which is your channeled information for this month. The way that I arrive at this, for those of you that are new, is I usually show up a couple hours before the reading starts and I will meditate. And I try to pick up on themes for all signs and also themes just for you. The all sign information, again, was renewal, reinvention. And this is a chance for you to really release things. So it's kind of appropriate. We're just getting through retrograde. April, you will be completely through that. And it's a chance then to look back one more time and think, is there anything that I'm still holding on to? If so, let's really get it out of this system so that I can embrace opportunity. For you, the first thing that came to me was this opening of the heart, opening of the space around me. And I think that creating space in your life is going to be an essential component to success, to opening up abundance, also just to general happiness. So this cleaning can be both in a spiritual sense and also a physical sense. In the spiritual sense, this could be housekeeping, where you look at your friends, your family members, your loved ones, and you think about, like, what is it that I am feeling as I work with these people in my life? Is it a beautiful reciprocity where we're helping, where we're healing, where we're supporting each other? Or is there someone that's really kind of pulling me down or pulling me back or weighing me down with their energy? If you're feeling that, then you would kind of meditate on the Six of Swords, where you're going to push a little bit of space between you and that person. It doesn't have to be sort of like a blocking them or a hard breakup or anything. It's just like, I need my space. I need some time. I need to kind of sort out what my energy is. So when you create that space, it allows you to expand. So here that says prepare for expansion. I kind of got this feeling of kind of when, like in space, inertia or whatever, like the supernova, when everything starts to push outward. So in order for you to do that, though, there needs to be space around it. Otherwise, the expansion can't happen. It's kind of like a plant. If it's in a pot that's too small, it can't grow. So you put it in a larger pot, you put the medium around the roots, you give it space, then it grows. Same thing has to happen in your life. And this space, I think for some of us is hard because just like you, I work 2 or 3 jobs. You know, I'm a reader. I do the video production here on YouTube, and I'm writing the book is written. I'm getting it ready for release. So I have 3 projects at once. So like many of you have 3 jobs, so do I. And I still kind of cordon off time in my schedule, a day or a few days in a week where I can just not see people, not work, because this rest and relaxation, it kind of functions, if we were to use a very sort of physical example, a car or a plane. It needs to be maintained. It needs to be fueled. It also needs to be inspected occasionally. When we rest and refuel, we integrate the lessons, we integrate the energy, we allow for our body to repair, and we also gain insight. And I think sometimes the most effective and productive time for me is when I'm doing nothing, because I get my brainstorms then. I can get some of the best ideas when I'm just taking a shower, brushing my teeth, sitting down, petting the dog, like not doing something productive. I will get a really good idea for something. If I'm constantly working and I don't allow myself time to just disengage, you just kind of get stuck in a rut, right? So my advice for you, even if you, like me, you're working 3 different jobs to get stuff done, you can still create space. I get up early on the days that I do these. I get up around 5:30 in the morning, even though this isn't 9 o'clock Pacific, because I need time to get ready, to prepare. So I create space so that I can open up the channel and give you what you need. So you might have to do what I do, which is get up a little early, or wait until everyone in your house has gone to sleep, and then you use that time for yourself. So at one end or the other, not both, you don't want to burn the candle at both ends, you can create that space. And it's like the silly movie from the 90s. I think it was the 90s, maybe it was the 80s, Field of Dreams. If you build it, then they will come. In this case, if you create the space, then opportunity and abundance can come in. You have to open up first, though. And that includes like rest, spiritual cleaning, physical cleaning, and just allowing yourself to do nothing. Because doing nothing is actually, the act of meditation is something, and just allowing for that space to open up, it's actually something. It's not, it's the inverse of being, like sometimes we think it's not being productive. I would say it's the reverse. You're actually being very productive by resting. So that's the first and most important message. I forgot to mention that after this, I saw an image in my mind of like a sailboat, and I saw the sails kind of being pushed then by the momentum that you're creating after you're rested, after you have this idea of where you're going. Then there's this big push of energy. So the beginning of April is going to be quiet, or it should be, or you might need to take time for yourself. The latter part is where we see a lot of that energy coming through, okay? So let's go ahead and take a look now at what's coming through for the cards. And this is going to be, like I said, a blueprint. High points, challenges, and then opportunities in between, okay? At this point, I like to remain quiet. So just be patient with me as I pull all the cards. Afterwards, I'm going to break down the messages for each and every one. And we'll get a nice view of what's coming through for the month ahead in April. All right, everyone, thank you so much for being patient as I pulled all of the cards. Don't worry, for those of you that really like to look at them, I do a review right after I read everything, so you'll get a chance to see each one in a moment. But let's pull them one by one, and we'll start with the catalyst card. The message here is attune to the call. It says tune in and turn on. So I think for you, this could be the meditative state that I was talking about. Just allowing yourself maybe a few minutes, a few hours in your schedule each week, each month, to just dream, to just be. And you can see all of the energy around this illustration, kind of symbolizing the integration that happens, and also that sort of that chance for you to start to brainstorm and get great ideas. Dreams are amazing. I get some great insights and some great ideas from my dreams. So give yourself time to get proper sleep, to dream, to try new things. And then for some of you, you've been called to make a change or a shift in your life. So maybe you've been feeling a sense of dissatisfaction with your career choice, with your choice of major in school. Maybe you are retired and you're thinking, what's the next phase in my life? What's calling to me? This is showing that for some of you, the search for that question will be what's happening in April. For some of you, you already have the answer. And this is a matter of giving yourself permission to take a leap of faith and try something new. Whatever you're going to do, it looks good. It does feel like you need to visualize it first and see yourself being successful and allow yourself to go into that vision. Once you do that, you're open and energy starts to come in and inspiration starts to come in. So I love the illustration. I love the message. Go for it. That's really what I see here. Let's look at the center card and we'll connect it to everything that we just talked about. We have the 10 of Pentacles. In this deck, stones are pentacles. I like that this is showing a doorway. And that's kind of what I was saying this whole month was about for you. So stay grounded in that vision. It's possible to be both highly visual and highly sort of putting yourself into a different position, but also staying grounded. This is about figuring out, all right, so I want to do this. How do I practically line up all of my opportunities to get me to that point? Making basically your own blueprint, not just looking at the cards here, but figuring out, for instance, if you were going to decide to, try to get to the next level in a job, or if you want to get into a certain school, or if you want to travel somewhere and you're looking for the right way to do it, it may take planning upwards of a year to kind of get this into motion. This is a very practical card, and it's saying you can do it. Of course, the 10 of Pentacles is also a card of family, of success and wealth, and having the right connections. So you may already know the right person to allow this to happen. And there may be a chance for many of you to do sort of like a lateral move or transfer within a current situation, like a company that you're working at. You may be able to go to a sister company or sister office with this. It's not necessarily showing the next level just yet, but I'm seeing you stepping through something and it will eventually lead to what you want. This is a great month. Opportunities will open up. We're starting with a very high wealth card. 10 of Pentacles is great. For some of you, the other thing that I'm looking at with that is maybe it's time to just move on overall. So you could do this sort of lateral move, or we have the Wheel of Fortune right on top of it. So you have choices. You could stay and continue to prosper, and it's kind of predictable. And maybe there's a sort of, again, lateral move, or maybe there's a really big step up in the world, in your life, energetically, and that's the Wheel of Fortune here. And interestingly, on this one, we see it as sort of like a loom, or they're weaving this new future here. So I would say for you, it feels like some of you have been working on this for a long time. I talked about a passion project that I've been working on for about a decade. This is a year where things like that can come out because you've put the work in. For the rest of you, you might be embarking on a new journey that could take some time. This card is also saying, don't expect it to happen overnight. Part of the fun of achieving, of being successful, is that you remember the hard work that you went through in getting that. When you look at some of the people that win an award, whether it's an athlete getting on an Olympic podium, or an actor that receives an Academy Award, or a singer that gets a Grammy, they'll cry. You see the tears because it's like so much work that went into this that people don't understand. But that moment, all of it sort of aligns to it. And it was the journey that got them there. So don't ever try to fast forward or rush through things. It's a lesson that all of us, myself included, can benefit from, which is Today is the blessing. Today, just feeling like I've made space for this, for my soul's journey, for this thing that I've been called to, this higher calling. That's all that matters. No matter how long it takes to get there, I see that you're on a successful path as long as you're in that higher purpose. And for some of you, there is a choice between predictability and this new opportunity. There's no wrong answer. You have to choose for yourself. For some of you, if you have a family and dependents, you might have to wait a little bit. But I see that there's two things pulling at you, something that's good and something that you really want. Maybe you can put them both into the picture and start to do something and create the momentum, create the sort of the plan of attack on how you're going to make this happen. When I look at all of the energy that's been setting you up for what we're seeing here in April, since some of you are watching right now in March, these next two cards are going to be important if you watch it early. So we have Deep Past, and it's the Ace of Swords. In this deck, it's arrows. What this is showing is that some of you have already started that momentum. It's already happening. And this is also a card of communication, of taking the initiative, staying on target, staying focused, particularly since we're seeing bows and arrows for wands and swords in this deck. So what I would say for this is the more you are keeping to your truth. And also, speaking of truth, this is about accountability. So you want to be accountable, feel accountable, surround yourself with people that are in that same transparent and honest communication vibe and energy, then things are going to be really, really good, okay? So use the power of your words, of your thoughts to really stay clear, to really create that momentum, to really feel like you've got it. And don't allow people to try to pull you off that path. Normally, the Two of Pentacles would show someone balancing on a tightrope, and it would be a couple of coins that they're trying to balance. With this deck, we actually see that the battle happens with your time and energy and people in your life. So we have two rabbits or hares here, and they're kind of sparring a little bit. I like the illustration. What I do also like about this is it's not something to really get upset about. There might be someone in your life that's just bothersome, whether it's a sibling, a parent, or a friend. It seems like they just get under your skin, they get into your energy, and they're kind of like trying to pull you off a little bit. The Two of Pentacles is about choices, and you're going to choose not to let that energy bother you. And it also tells me that work-life balance is essential. So as you start to look at what matters to you, you're going to have to probably do some of that cleaning that we were talking about, or that clearing. So when it comes to creating space, some of the space for you could just be saying, like, I don't have time to do that activity anymore. I don't have time for that person anymore. I need a little bit more time and space with this new thing that I'm working on. It could be a relationship for some of you, but the investment of time and energy is kind of finite this month, and you really want to focus on what matters most, what gives you the most return. You don't want to feel sort of tapped out. Once you do that, it actually brings about a great deal of abundance. We have the Nine of Pentacles here, and this card is showing all of that wonderful energy. It almost reminds me of the Nine of Wands. This deck is amazing because different sort of interpretations. It's Wildwood, by the way, and Ryan's put links to my decks. You can find it there. But what I like about this is that you already have this foundation that you're building, this momentum that you're building. Once you see your own worth, I think this is important for those of you that are deciding to stay put and try to kind of like move to a new position or something. You want to make sure that you're getting compensated for what you're doing. Stand up for yourself, ask for a raise, look for opportunities for self-growth, because Nine of Pentacles will set you up for financial stability. And we're entering into a very sort of rocky state right now with global economies. So anything that you can do to lock down your financial security for the next year or so, it makes a lot of sense. And we want everybody that's looking at this to get into that Nine of Pentacles state. So the other thing that we're looking at is to take your time. You notice that this is a very meditative pose here. As I said, don't rush into anything. April's a moment for expansion, but you start first with contemplation. So with your investments, whether it's relationships, time, energy, money, etc., take your time, be smart about it, think about the long run on this, 10 years down the line, where am I headed? And then make decisions based on that. Now looking at the energy that's opening up specifically in the month of April, that was the first card showing, again, that you're in a good place. All of your money cards so far have been pretty good, and resource cards. 10 of Pentacles at the center, Wheel of Fortune in the middle, and then the 9 of Pentacles at the top. I read the 2 of Pentacles as balance, work-life balance, and also tuning people out. It's not so much a relationship. I'm sorry, not so much a money card in this particular instance. Looking now at what's coming through, we have the King of Swords here, King of Arrows. And I love that they chose birds for all the air signs in this particular deck. So movement, forward momentum, really good things here. With the King of Swords, you're in a really strong position to speak up, negotiate. It's a power card. And you might have to get ahead of communications with this. Notice that no one else is around on this one. So sometimes people that really are trying to make a difference in the world, they have to sort of sometimes put themselves out there, and it can be a little bit uncomfortable. You might feel like, you know, where's my support? How is this going to work? Just stay true to what matters for you. It's going to be okay. This is also a card of transparency and being honest. If there's someone in your life that is sort of acting up, is testing your boundaries, this is a time where you have to sort of step in with love, but also being direct and say, please stop. I love you, but this is distracting. It's not helping either of us. So finding your power, setting boundaries, being communicative, not being afraid to speak your truth, even if that could mean that people might question you or make you feel kind of visible or vulnerable. Everything that I see here has been setting you up for a really successful moment or an outing there. So don't worry too much about that. As we look at your soul, we have the 10 of Cups and it's reversed. The card itself is about happiness, if you can see the caption here. And there's a lot of passionate energy coming through. But with the card reversed, this is where it's really important for you to be balanced so that you can be able to channel that and celebrate that. And if not, then your emotional state is going to pull you off of this productive energy. So I would say the most important thing so far that I've looked at is, how do you feel this month? If you're sad, if you're feeling overwhelmed, because any of the 10 cards, 10 of Wands is the best example of it. But if you see the 10 of Wands, you see someone carrying a really heavy load. The same is true with Cups, though. If you're feeling like there's too much going on, this is a chance for you to let it go, release. And there may be a little bit of extra emotional baggage that you're carrying from March into April, and you want to kind of set yourself up to a place where you think, I don't need to do all of that. I don't need to kind of carry all of that load. The 10 of Cups can also be your friends and family pulling at you. And it usually is because you're doing something well. So I was using an example of public figures a few moments ago. A lot of times these people end up becoming hermits because of all of the energy being sort of pushed at them, people needing their time and their space and their attention. So that happens also just in regular families. If you're a really lovable and empathic person, and a lot of you are because you're showing up here every month, then this is a chance for you to just sort of pull back a little bit and also lean on this system around you, because we have a supportive card at the center. In a traditional spread, you would see friends, family, a dog, a lot of other things in this card. So you have resources, you can lean on them. It's apparent to me that they lean on you. So the balance that we see here is about pushing back and asking for help, or saying, I can't do any more right now. By the way, it's auspicious that we see the 10 of Cups and the 10 of Pentacles. That's a love connection. That's a chance to go into a deeper level in a relationship. But you have to feel it. And that's what I'm not sure. Some of you might not be ready to go into that next step because of the 10 of Cups. So clear out your emotional house so that you can explore that relationship if that's something that you want to do. Okay. I really love what we see in the environment here. We have the Knight of Wands here. The fox here is really saying, trust your instinct and your intuition. You've got what it takes this month to really sort out anything that comes your way. This is a management card. All of the Wands court cards are, to me, different levels of management. Knight would be sort of like middle management. And so I think that some of you are in a place where there's, like, again, a chance for you to step up or to be a messenger this month and bring things forward. So don't be afraid to do that. Part of what this is going to be for some of you is basically there's entrepreneurial energy between these two court cards. So the King of Arrows is King of Swords, which is communication, which is presentation, which is basically being able to use media to your advantage or use your voice to your advantage. And this is about communicating your ideas, expressing yourself. So this month, the single most important thing that you could do is to take your ideas, your dreams, and to create an action plan to bring them into fruition. As I said earlier, it doesn't have to happen overnight, but I see a chance for this to really start to happen for you. And with the wheel, I meant to say this. I momentarily glanced at the side too and saw someone that was looking at kind of going to school or whatever. This to me is like 1 year in advance. So as we're looking right now, some of you could be deciding to apply for a fall opportunity, whether it's travel abroad or school or a job opportunity or some sort of even internship, whatever. This is great. You might be planning 1 year ahead to get into that new position, but everything's aligning to set you up for success for that. If you're looking for a position of growth, the only thing that I would say for you is, again, there's two choices between the king and the knight. I would choose the king if you can. So, there might be something where you feel like I'm going to be in over my head a little bit, or it's a step up, but that other opportunity in your life that's going to challenge you could bring you a lot of happiness, because right next to the king card, I actually have the 8 of Cups. And for me, the 8 of Cups is a good cycle in your life, particularly when it's upright. And in this particular deck, you see that 1 cup, which almost reminds me of the ace. So this is really focusing on finding your happiness. And I feel like some of you have been in a place where you've been serving others too much or giving too much. And I mentioned earlier that sort of analogy of fueling some sort of a vehicle. If you just go without ever putting some sort of fuel in the tank, what happens is it would only be good for 1 trip, or it's going to break down. So I think for you, what we see with the 8 of Cups is stopping and returning. It's cycles. And it's also really good, by the way, for business. 8 of Wands and 8 of Cups, to me, are pretty much, they're different ends of the same spectrum. 8 of Cups is return business. 8 of Wands is being busy. But what I see with this also is the analogy of stopping, doing some work on yourself, and coming back. So you're going to be able to create a cycle of getting things done, but not in one sprint. So you'll work on it a little bit, then you'll go to the other thing. You'll work on it a little bit, and you'll go to the other thing. So you're creating a cycle that will give you the wheel of fortune. So realize that this is not a sprint. It's not even a long distance run. It's actually something that it's like going to school and graduating. You have to go to several sort of starts and stops before it's finished. So if you see your path to development, success, and fulfillment as being not one solid line, but zigzags, ups and downs, and all of this, you're going to be fine. You're going to get there, but it's not maybe in a straight, clear line. Okay. So be open to unusual ways to accomplish your goals. I think that's important to remember. So when we look at your final card here, we have the Stag. And in this particular deck, justice and strength have been reversed. So this is actually justice. And the justice card is really encouraging you to make some decisions about what's important. It's upright. So it's really at that point where you're deciding. And so I feel like April is that the doorway here is you can go one way or another. So your biggest decision this month is, does this put me in a position of empowerment? This also reminds me a little bit of the Emperor card. So I would say, are you feeling like this is setting you up for success, that people are seeing you as a valuable person in their life, that you're feeling a sense of fulfillment and independence? Because when we look at your other high card this month, it was 9 of Pentacles, which is, I can rely on myself. I don't need all of these other people in here that will kind of take away at my power. So this month, independence, ownership, and also what is fair, what is right, what is just, these things are really important to your growth. If there's something going on in a relationship and it's not right, the Justice card comes in so that you can speak your truth and try to balance things out. Normally you would see scales there, but this is sort of like sounding the warning drum here and saying like, time to listen, time to shape up. So that's what I'm seeing here. Don't be afraid to speak up if something's not working. This is your chance to take the initiative, to take power, and to make that change happen. Overall, some really good messages. We're going to expand the forecast now to look at health, wealth, love, and destiny. And I'll be able to get a little bit deeper into each of those categories because I know they matter. So let's start first with health. Health is a multifaceted card. As I've been practicing and reading for the past several years, this has started to indicate more thoughts and energy than physicality, but I'll get into a little bit of both here. So we have shape shifting, but the card itself is about clouds. And to me, clouds can sometimes be about missing things. Think of like the 4 of Cups. It's right in front of your eyes, but you're not looking at it sometimes. So this is basically saying when it comes to health, to get real, not to sort of, if there's something going on that you know you need to work on or that you're kind of afraid of looking at, this is saying just cut to the information, get to the data, and talk to somebody that can help you. Sometimes we pull the curtain around us, our own eyes, because we don't want to see it. And with this, look, the clouds are going to clear. Once you get past any fears, that's really what clouds are, fear, uncertainty, or just a lack of knowledge. Then the empowerment comes in, then the preparation comes in, then you're going to be okay. Clouds, for me also, when we're looking at shape-shifting, means that you can change. You can change for the better. And I think of that Joni Mitchell song, Cloud Illusions. You know, it's like, that's all that it was. She's looking at it from both sides, right? So you're looking at it from one side, which may feel daunting and overwhelming, but the clouds will clear. And like that song says, it's an illusion. It can be less than, it can be more than you thought, but you've got to go through the illusion of it and you're going to be okay. But the shape-shifting part means that, let's say you're trying to be healthier. You can change. If there's something in the past that you didn't like, if you're looking to be more sober and, you know, there's a habit that you want to give up, you can change. It's choices. And those sort of shadows and energies and heavy things that we think are there, they're just smoke and mirrors and clouds. So you'll be okay. Okay. Clouds also has to do with mental acuity. So for those of you that are feeling depressed or anxious or feeling like it's overwhelming, this is where particularly the King of Swords could be a psychologist. And so if you need to talk, or counselor or mentor. So I feel like you really want to air your thoughts, air your emotions, air your feelings. That's going to clear everything. So as I said, this is really more about energy and emotions and cognitive things this month than it is your body. But I'm going to highlight a couple things with your body since I can do that with the cards. Even as I look at the cards, I still feel like emotional state of being is the most important thing. It's the 10 of Cups that really brings my focus first and foremost here to the cards there. And I would say like focusing on making sure that you're approaching positivity as what you can kind of do each day. That's the key thing. I posted something on Twitter the other day. It was for everybody, not just for a particular sign. I mentioned that the power of belief, particularly expectation, is really important. So if you wake up with the expectation that today will be better, or today will be good, or today something can happen or change or shift, then it can. If you wake up with the feeling that, oh, it's another day, or is it ever going to be 6 o'clock? Or like, if you start putting these sort of heavy energies into the day before it's begun, then you start to close the doors. So open the doors. Feel like I'm ready for this, whatever this is. And I'm expecting some good news today or soon. And that's a good sort of manifestation tool. With respect to other health messages, I believe it's your balance of time and energy. Some of you might be burning the candle at both ends. So just really look at your work-life balance or school-life balance, or if you're retired, are you just feeling fulfillment? Where's your energy going? That's the main thing this month. I'm not picking up on heavy health issues for you, okay? Let's look at wealth here. Wealth is, again, how you approach opportunities. I saw 2 opportunities for many of you. A predictable path and a new path that would be really fulfilling, but is going to create, it will require some work and maybe some time to achieve. So this one is self-esteem, self-worth. And I'll just pull the card upright so you can see it. And I think that, in tarot, this would be like the 5 of Pentacles. And this is really, how do I feel about myself? How has my family affected who I am today? And we all have stories to tell with that. Maybe it was a teacher or a family member, a sibling, or someone in your life that bullied you. This is a month to fully release that and think, you no longer have these chains or these shackles on me. I value who I am. And this is what sets you up for that independence that's coming through here. You're not going to need validation. I like that we didn't see 6 of Wands in your set here. It's not worrying about external validation. It's about, I value me, and when I value myself, then other people will value me as well. That's what's setting you up for that independence and that return on what you're worth. And as I said, I feel like you're at least a fork in the road. Some of you might have more than one opportunity in front of you. April is the beginning of either deciding a year from now I want to do it, or I'm going to take that leap now, okay? But overall, your money's pretty good this month. I just think it's important to be mindful of the long term, like thinking 5 to 7 years down the line or 10 years down the line, not just thinking about here and now. So don't make any big purchases right now. Opening now into, we looked at health and wealth, we're going to look at love. And interesting on this one. So this one is also about release. The card was reversed, but as we see here, there's kind of these leaves coming through, which reminds me of the season of fall. And I know I read for people around the world. So we're entering into spring. Some people will be entering into fall. So it's reversed. But what this is showing me here, if we're looking at love, it could be sort of, when I think of that, I think of like a May-December romance. There could be someone in your life that's at a very different point in their life, whether it's maturity or age. So you could be either partnered already or finding a new partner that's going to have a difference of age and experience. And that could be a challenge for some of you. For some of you, this is also about letting go of things. And you may be in a period right now where you don't want to be with somebody. And that's okay. Because when I look at this person, they're sorting out their emotional state, something that we've talked about. It's really important to release first, and then know that there's always renewal, there's always growth. And I might tap into the analogy of a tree starting to going through the seasons of the year, because I feel like, yes, you let go of your leaves. Yes, there's snow on the leaves for a while, but after all of that melts and goes away, there's this beautiful renewal, this beautiful growth. So some of you are ready to come out of your hermit shell and meet new people. Some of you are maybe mourning the loss of someone or needing to just heal yourself. So sort out your emotional state first and know that there will be a spring in your life, a figurative one, because I know that we're at different seasons, so don't get stuck on that. It's more symbolic here. As I said earlier, there are a couple of different court cards that came through, and it really does add into that experience or age delta that I was talking about, because we have a king and a knight, and that's almost at opposite ends of the spectrum. A page would have been a little bit younger, but we're looking at someone that might be like 5 to 7 years different, or there might be someone who's in a really different level. So you might be the same age, but you might be working for someone that's like a CEO and you're just a regular employee or something. And the challenge is, hey, we have like similar experiences, but this person has more power. In that particular situation, it's about owning your own power and divinity and not letting a title or something out of your control really affect who you are and what you can do. And as we look now at your outcome for the month, this is really, I call it destiny in the expanded forecast, but it's a chance for you to say, do I like the path that I'm on? If you do, awesome. If not, you have a chance to basically go in here and re-architect what's going on. So it says, get the big picture. That's something that I've been talking about with your money, but I think it's a bigger question of like, what do you want to do in your life in general? You see all of these little air balloons here, and it says view from above. I think for some of you, you might have spent the past few months of this year really focusing on working hard, listening to others, maybe being inundated by news and information, and it just feels like too much. And so for you, this is a chance for you to figure out again, wait a second, who am I? What do I want? And how do I get there? Once you have that goal, once you have that visualization, that's what we see. I know I mentioned like setting sail. This is another metaphor for that. That's going to give you the sort of lift of energy, of insight, and also give you a little bit of levity to get you out of the heavy space. Your sign isn't usually something where I would see this much emotional energy, but there is some heavy emotional energy. And I think the sooner that you work through what we were talking about, those clouds that are coming through, the better it will be. I like that I didn't see a storm in this one. Clouds or rain, of course, heavy energy and emotions. But if it were raining or I saw a thunderstorm or we had the tower here, I would be a lot more concerned. I feel like some of you just need to work through some fear or uncertainty, and that's going to get you to the next level. We're going to have a powerful meditation after I review this. So I saw that one of the moderators mentioned to stick around. Please do that. But let's first go ahead and review everything. And we'll then get into that meditation and healing for renewal, rebirth, reinvention. So I want to talk about what came to me when I was meditating earlier. Creating space in your life. Physical space, like cleaning your closets. Space in your social media, like deleting some old contacts that don't need to be there. Creating mental space so that you can just integrate and think. This space allows for expansion and allows you also to take flight, to lift up. But if you don't do this, then that can't happen. And then ultimately, if I turn it up right, okay, there it is. Rest and refueling is really key. Our body is just like a vehicle, like a plane, a train, or a boat. if it doesn't get proper maintenance, rest, and fueling in the form of us, in nutrition and sleep, then it can't keep going. Once you do that, though, you'll be able to actually be much more productive. I notice that sometimes if I just get a good night's sleep and revisit a task, I'm so much better the next day. Some of you have been feeling this desire that you need to do something new. It may have been in the way of a dream, a persistent thought, or something that you're revisiting from your past. Like when you were a kid, you thought, I've always wanted to do this. 8 of Cups is a second chance too. So, it's not just retrograde that gives you a second chance. You can make a second chance any point in your life that you want. It's just a matter of, are you ready and are you willing to put in some of the work and to take that new opportunity? I think we have to look at these cards together. As I said at the beginning, to me, April is a portal month. What you have is good, the 10 of Pentacles, but what's here is also good. And what's here is the Wheel of Fortune. So you have a choice between predictable and something that is going to require work but could be even more fulfilling. So it's really a question of timing, I think, for some of you. When do I make that change? How do I make it? Can I do these two in tandem? And yeah, there's some choices and opportunities there. There's also love coming through for you, but it's unusual love in the way that you might be different ages, different backgrounds, different maturity levels, but you're both bringing something very powerful to this equation. Because to me, 10 of Pentacles and the Wheel of Fortune, it's again that sort of extreme that we're seeing here. It's two very valuable people, and I think you just have to celebrate each other's journey and where you're at in your life. Maintain the velocity, the momentum, the inertia, use whatever word you'd like to really continue to capitalize on these two opportunities that I see coming through. As long as you are truthful, transparent, and you take the initiative with these opportunities, I feel like things are going to be good. Whenever we start to ascend to a new level, people want to test us and see if we want to go there. Don't let them pull you off your path. You're getting set up for independence. Some of you may decide to stay on your path for another year. The Wheel of Fortune can show like 1 calendar year. So if that's the case, fine. Just make sure that you know what's next and it's part of your overall trajectory. Because what I don't want to happen with this card is just to kind of get stuck in a predictable rut. Even though it's good and you've done well at it, it doesn't mean that you have to always keep doing the same thing. Your voice, your communication, you are actually where the value is. So some of you are being challenged to be more visible in life, in a relationship, in your work, stepping up. It's not quite the star, but it might as well be because you're standing up above everything else and being seen. Notice also that your words can elevate. We don't have the sword in reverse, the King of Swords in reverse, and that actually means motivational, uplifting. And I think sometimes King and Queen of Swords get a bad rap, and that's what this is really saying. Your words can be inspirational to others. Find your happy space. If anything is bringing you out of that space, whether it's a person in your life or you just feel like you have to do something that you've always wanted to do it. Talk to somebody. You're going to be able to manage it. Anything that comes your way, you can handle it. And that's basically what I see with the Knight of Wands. It's a management card. It's a middle management card. It means that you're ready. You can do it. You can connect with others. It's a great teamwork card. Nothing here that really needs to be worried about. Just focus on your internal wisdom, because to me, foxes are always very wise, a little sneaky. So you are going to also maybe be able to think of a way to get stuff done that people wouldn't expect. Use that, it's like research and development or ingenuity or whatever. Like you've got this ability to kind of break through, and I want you to focus on that. I'm really focusing on this almost as if it's an Ace of Cups, even though it's the 8 of Cups. If you could be happy that you're accomplishing something in incremental steps, that's what matters the most. So keep those baby steps getting you towards that ultimate goal. Think of it as a figurative analogy to like going to school, even if you're in your 80s, or if you're, if you're mid-career or something. It's just about knowing that it's going to take a lot of little steps to get what you want done, but it's still going to be finished. I mentioned earlier that in this particular deck, this is Justice, and it's about sounding maybe the alarm or the voice of reason, speaking up. You don't want to be quiet. And it is a decisive card, and you're going to have to speak up, speak out, or state your opinion or your desire to move forward. That vocalization is really it's almost like the key that's going to open up everything that we see. With health, moving through fears or illusions, that's really the most important thing. Clouds indicate mental acuity, so you want to focus on being happy, being Also, working through any questions that you might have. The more you can kind of ease your mental state, the better. And of course, meditation is a key to that. So we'll be doing that in a moment. If you never meditate, I'll give you a free meditation in a moment to help with all of that. Self-esteem is something that's going to come through as a benefit of all of this work that you're doing on yourself. Don't let somebody in the past take away your potential in the future. Their lack of imagination or insight, and maybe even they were trying to pull you off that path, and maybe there was something sort of shady or nefarious about it. That was then, this is now. Don't worry about that. We always are going to find people in our life that are a little bit tricky, and it's not worth giving your power up. Once you allow for that sort of release to happen that we see here, it could be tears, it could be communication, it could just be space and meditation, you're going to find a springtime in your life. And we're going to focus on springtime in the meditation. This is also going to lighten your mood, help you get through the clouds, move beyond this. We've got a lot of air symbols coming through here. So I see movement, but in order to do that, we have to kind of embrace the energy of air, which is thoughts, communication, and as I said earlier, space. So once you allow for that space to happen, then you get the expansion as well. All right, let's talk about now what you can do to really get into renewal, rebirth, reincarnation, reimagination. Basically, what do you want to do to step through that door and create a new you? Okay. We're going to look at past, present, and future influences, and then we'll meditate together. I'm going to take a drink of water before I do this because I've been talking a lot, so give me a second. All right. Past influences first. I'm particularly looking at this to see what might be affecting self-esteem for some of you, since that came up as something in the reading here. Okay, so we have the Emperor, which in this deck is the ancestor, and it's actually quite appropriate because to me, the Emperor can be a father, and ancestor can be, of course, someone in your immediate family, or it could be a past life sort of energy you have with a father figure. So with this, the power is sort of taken away because there could be someone in your life that has a tendency to step in and almost micromanage you. It does not have to just be your dad or a parent. It can also be a partner, which takes on the role of mother or father in your life. And a lot of times when I do one-on-one readings for someone, that happens. And it's because maybe it could be you, it could be someone else that's sort of trying to come in and make sure everything's okay. What I see with this card, first and foremost, is you have the power, the wisdom, and the capability to run your own life. And it's important for you to know who you are and what you want. And once you do that, you don't have to really ask for permission anymore, especially once you're an adult. So live your life without apologies and without regrets. It's good advice for all of us. If there's someone in your life who steps in and doesn't want you to be happy, doesn't agree with the way in which you're doing something, or simply wants to control you, that to me is the antithesis of unconditional love. That's love with conditions. And that's someone who can't allow you to grow and to expand, which is something that we saw as integral pieces to success this month. So if you can't expand, if you can't grow, if you can't be your own person because of someone in your life, it's time to cut that cord. And most importantly, it's time to just own things, take accountability, and also make the decision. We reach a point in our life where maybe we don't have people around us to support us anymore. You might be at a point where you're older and your parents have gone, and it's scary, but you're going to be okay. We all get to that point in our lives. And this ancestor card shows me that you're also bringing the energy of all of that experience, and you've got this. One way, shape, or form, that's what the message is you've got this, despite any challenges and despite anybody in your path that doesn't understand that. Okay. Let's take a look now at present opportunities, which can form or support what we're seeing with the 10 of Stones, 10 of Pentacles, and the World card, or the Wheel card, rather. Well, we got the World. So that was a Freudian slip. All right, so the World card here is showing the other piece of the puzzle here. And what I like with this particular World card is sometimes when you're in the thicket of this maze, which is life, we don't realize how it's not as bad as it seems. The distance between here and here isn't that far, but I said earlier, it's going to be winding. What can help is what we saw here. Maybe there's a chance to kind of get out of the maze, to think of a new way to do it. And this is hitting reset. And this is what people that are true change makers or innovators will do. They're going to follow the beat of their own drum and say, this is what I'm going to do. This is how I'm going to do it. And I'm just going to do it. and it will work. And you understand that it will work. But you want to ground yourself in reality here, get everything assembled. You're going to need resources and support to make it happen. But I feel like many of you can do it. So I keep getting energy of entrepreneurship sort of in this whole spread. So some of you might be starting a business or partnering with somebody. That's great. Some of you might just be working on the self-esteem to get to a level where you have more authority in your life or in your relationships. The world, of course, also can indicate a move. Career move, physical move, spiritual ascension, shift, Kundalini awakening. And that's really what's opening up, not just in April. As I said, this part of the reading is the whole year. So we're tapping into the next 12 months. And I do that for you every month at this point. So you've got a big shift. It can happen now or it can happen within this 10 to 12 month cycle. So I'm excited for you. And I think that there's some great opportunities. Own your power, jump into that when you're ready, and realize that there might be a few left or right turns along the way, but you're going to get here no matter what. You'll get out of that maze. All right. Let's go ahead now and take a look at future opportunities once you get through this. And really, this is what can help you unlock these sort of shackles from the past. Okay, King of Cups in reverse. Let it go. Release it. Some of you are holding on to something too long. It could be a creative project. It could be an old version of yourself. It could be pent-up emotions because you're not able to do what you want to do. Release. And that's what we're going to do in this meditation here. But when you put this in the upright position, it's powerful. This is a messenger card too. All of the bird cards are messenger cards here. So I feel like don't waste your time anymore. This is your chance to really spread your desires, your thoughts, your dreams with everybody, okay? So I'm really excited for what's coming through. And I want to now go ahead and let's get started for the meditation. I notice we have a good amount of people here. I hope you stick with this. To me, this is like Shavasana in yoga. It really gives you a chance for, I just saw the word closure, not just closure, but like release and opening that door or that portal into the future. All right, so if you can stick around, please do. If not, you can join me on replay and watch this or rewatch this as needed. So for everybody who's sticking around, I want you to get into a comfortably seated position. We're going to focus on the body first, and then we'll put ourselves into a mental space to allow for this release. So just close your eyes initially, and I want you to take your shoulders and move them up towards your ears and then back, just kind of unwinding any of the stress that you might be holding on to. We saw a lot of 10 cards here, which can show you carrying the load, and I want to lessen the load. So do that a couple of times and take a nice deep breath. Inhale. And on the exhale, let go of anything that you no longer want to have in your life, that you don't want to hold on to, people's energy, which you no longer need. Just let it all go, sigh it out. And for this meditation, I want to start with the tree, and then we're going to kind of go up in that hot air balloon. But we're going to start at the tree that we were meditating with in a moment at the beginning here. So sit up against the tree. And if you need a mental, I'll bring the card up here, a mental image. Beautiful tree. Think of like the world tree in mythology, something that is so high that it reaches from the earth to the firmament. And as you lean against this tree, I want you to really just allow for you in this moment to feel like you are supported. Think that the universe has my back. I'm okay. We're okay. This is going to be fine. Take a nice deep breath together. And I want you to let any stress that you didn't unwind when we were just taking your initial breath and kind of moving your shoulders, let the tree absorb it and say, thank you. I'm giving you this energy as an offering. I no longer need it. Allow the tree to recycle and reuse it in a way that's more effective. But just let go. Lean back. Let the tree take your stress, your pain, your energy, and just let it go. Nice deep inhale. Relax. melt into the trunk of the tree and just feel like you're no longer carrying this load alone. You have the strength, the stability, and the ancient knowledge of the tree. I also mentioned in a quote recently, something that I heard from a news story. Somebody mentioned like trees are like time traveling or time travelers. They have this ancient knowledge, especially if you imagine one that's like 1,000 years old. It's seen kingdoms rise and fall. It's seen famine, disease, success, all of the in-betweens, and it's lasted through it all. Think about yourself as having the strength and perseverance of that tree. You can weather any storm. You can handle anything coming your way. In this moment, I want you to reach up energetically, feeling the tip tops of the tree and the leaves above you, allowing for the sunlight to kind of trickle into the tree leaves and then into you as well. This beautiful golden light coming through your crown chakra, clearing out your third eye, your throat, your heart, your solar plexus, your sexual chakra, all the way down into the root. And now traveling along the actual roots of the tree, feel your energy moving towards the planet, connecting with the heart of the planet, equally as bright and as powerful as the sun. You are the conduit between these 2 points, feeling awake, alive, and capable. And look around you as in your meditation and see the season that you're in. Is it summer? Is it winter? Is it spring? I want you to imagine that whatever it is, you're going to be able to symbolically move through that season, the next, and several seasons. You can weather the storm. Find yourself in that beautiful springtime energy where the snow is melting, where crocuses are blooming, where you see new growth in the trees, flowers blooming in the trees as well. And you're now in this new state of renewal. Whatever you have been holding on to from the past, maybe there's a few leaves that are going to represent relationships, people in your life, pain, discomfort. I want you to see those leaves fall as you take a nice deep breath. Inhale. Picture that the breeze is coming through the trees, pushing those leaves out, pushing the clouds away, taking the heaviness of whatever it was that you were holding on to. Loss, failure, death, uncertainty. These are inevitabilities in all lifetimes, but they don't have to define or hold us down. Let them be transitional elements, and you're moving from winter into spring. I'm going to use the singing bowl for a moment, and then I want you to imagine that as we're doing this, that you see your tree growing, you see new branches reaching out, you see new opportunities coming through. And then we'll wrap up with you kind of floating away from that tree and taking flight. But first, focus on growing your tree, creating a stronger foundation in your roots, and just feeling strong, allowing for growth and healing to come into your life. For those of you on headphones, you might want to tune it down. For the rest of you, just enjoy the sound therapy. One last time, a little shorter. I want you to now see anything that you want to have happen in your life, really push through, see the grass growing, see the flowers blooming, and see yourself moving to the next level. And imagine that your spirit is going to raise up from the tree at this point, like a kite, like a balloon, or just like a feather in the wind. Okay, take a moment now, and I want you to feel like your energy is moving towards your destination. I want you to see your physical body moving with you, and when you get to that destination point, see that feather light energy starting to enter in through your crown chakra. Allow for it to integrate from head to toe, bringing this new upgraded version of yourself, the one that's capable, the one that's moving into possibilities, the one that's moving away from sadness. See this new you upgrading the old you. Take a deep breath and feel that you're actually connecting with the true version of yourself, the one that is free of all of the illusions, the clouds. As you take this breath, any existing cloud, smoke, mist around you is going to be completely dissolved, and is going to it's only going to be your light that's shining, this light that we've created, emanating from your heart space. Last breath, inhale. Exhale. Take your hands, move them together, feeling the warmth and energy that you've created, both symbolically and actually. You can stop now and create a circle around your body, sealing in the energetic work that we've done together, putting your left hand on your heart, your right hand on top of that, and just thinking to yourself, I am strong, I am ready, and I'm prepared for the change and expansion that's coming through. You can open your eyes when you're ready. And welcome back. And thank you for sticking around for that meditation. It means a lot. And I'd also like to just open up and offer healing and prayers for everybody that's working through anything challenging going on in their life, whether it's health, whether it's anything going on with, like I said, loss or money. You're going to be able to get through this. That's what I see. It's really a matter of taking care of yourself, okay? All right, I'd like to take a moment now as you're all coming back to planet Earth, just to kind of talk about how you can get involved, how you can stay in touch if you'd like to. The easiest way to kind of keep abreast of any news and information is to go to my website. It's nicholasashbaugh.com. It has all of the information that you're going to need to connect with me, including you can sign up for a newsletter. It's something I don't talk about much in the videos, but at the end of each month, I will summarize all of the channeled information. I give the dates for the new things, and I also talk about like Mercury retrograde or anything that's coming through for each month. And so that's a great way to sort of stay in touch with all of that. While I'm talking, I noticed that Jojo just did a super chat. If any of you want to do this while it's live, you can do that. Otherwise, there's other ways that you can give back, which include Patreon. And my username on Patreon is the same as YouTube. So it's Nicholas Ashbaugh on YouTube, Patreon, and Facebook. But Patreon is a nice monthly way to support me. You notice that there's a few members here. They have green text when they chat. That's another way to set up a monthly contribution. And this deck of cards is brand new. Whenever I buy new cards, it's your contributions that allow me to do that. So if you like what you see and you want me to keep buying new decks, then please supply that, because I'm paying for it out of pocket. And I appreciate your support. PayPal is another way that you can connect. I'm also on Instagram and Twitter, and I always put stories on both Instagram and Facebook. And then on Twitter, I will tweet out reminders of when upcoming readings are happening. So please feel free to join me. On Instagram, it's slightly different. It's Nicholas_Ashbaugh. And on Twitter, it's Ashbaugh. Okay. So I would love to see you guys join me there. And for all of that information or to book an appointment, you can also go just to my website, nicholasashbaugh.com. Thank you so much for joining. I thank all of you that were kind enough to do a super chat. I will call you out separately once the video is on replay. And I really enjoyed the meditation today. I hope you did as well. By the way, that little sound bowl is also listed on my website. All this stuff is on Amazon and it's cheap, but I put complimentary links if you want to support the channel there. So have a great day. Thanks again to Ryan and Maria for helping me keep the space safe and clear. I noticed that there was some commotion earlier, and I appreciate my moderators keeping it nice and clean and clear. So thank you for that. And thank everybody for showing up, okay? Much love and light to everybody. Have an amazing day and an amazing month ahead, okay? I'll see you soon. I'll be back again on Saturday, and I'll post that link on social media again so you can join in. So I'm sorry, on Sunday at 9 a.m., and we'll be working on Taurus at that point, okay? So Sunday, 9 a.m. Pacific time, and you can go to nicholasashbaugh.com or follow me on social media to get that update, okay? Thanks, guys. Have a great day. Bye-bye.